Hey guys, it's Amy and Brian from Colorado Mountain Living. So today we want to tell you about framing out your basement when you've used ICF forms like Quad Lock. So we used Quad Lock and we did I think it was our second video. Yeah. I'll put a link to it about our review on Quad Lock and how that works. But essentially what we've got is styrofoam.
Yeah, so I'll go through a little quick demonstration.
Kind of like big Legos.
Yeah, so this is one, they come in 4 foot lengths. It's 4 foot by 1 foot tall. We had used this actually to wrap the beehives in, so that's why it's cut off. So, but this is basically what it looks like. Top, bottom, and then these are the plastic ties that you use to join them together. So I don't have a whole bunch of pieces, so I'll just kind of show it to you in a little step-by-step format. So what you do is put these ties, light that up, in there just like that. And then you'd have the other one on this side. There you go. And you'd slide it in this way. So that's how you maintain your spacing. Now this side I had cut the little stubs off for the beehive, but normally you would have them on this side as well. So if you needed a wider or thicker wall, they would provide you with thicker or longer ties. And so I'm not sure all the different dimensions, but they even have some that you can connect this tie to another tie to make it really wide. So it's very interesting. And there's all kinds of flexibility as far as making curves and things like that. So it's pretty neat. And so once you did this, and it's attached to your footing, then you just go through and lay these out, put the ties in, then you put your rebar in the little cradle, and then you just wire tie it to the wire to the spacer, and then you go through and you do the next row. Now it's a little bit oversimplification. You kind of got to offset them from, like you would a Lego, so to speak. Offset them so that you don't have a joint. You don't want your joints lining up all the way up the wall, so you overlap them. But there's a manual about this thick for putting them together. That goes through every single thing you can do. Even has a section on swimming pools, and then it's got the section also for framing. Because what's nice is you see how long these spacers are, the ends of them. You actually just screw right into them. So after you pour all your concrete, everything stays in place. The styrofoam stays, the plastic all stays. It's all like embedded into your wall. So that's what we have here is the
styrofoam. But you don't want to leave your finished foundation with styrofoam. First of all, it like rubs off and like gives you this white film. So
yeah, and that's probably because it's been exposed. Before we had the roof on, it was exposed to the sun, and so it gives you a little bit of dust. But so what we did for our walls, I just screwed the 2x4s right to the plastic ties, and they're super strong. I had some shelves, like clothing racks, up on the other side, and it was probably 30, 40 pounds worth of clothing at least, maybe 50 pounds. And I actually hung on it before I put the clothes on it myself. So it held my 175 pounds. So it's super strong.
And then in the manual, they talk about how you can adhere drywall directly to the styrofoam, but we didn't want to do it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
So the reason that we're doing the 2x4s like this is to give better spacing to do the electrical.
Yeah, it's a little easier than trying to recess all of the wiring into the styrofoam. We had a nice fancy hot knife that we could go through and just cut a nice channel through the Quad Lock. That'd be really good, but we didn't have that, and you'll see later in the video how we actually did it. We did a little bit of a hot wire kind of attempt to put the receptacle boxes in there. And
a simple little device like this.
Yeah. that with a torch. So
wire, block, staples.
It was a much cleaner than using a knife, which I had started out doing. So So anyway.
So the other benefit of using 2x4s over your quad lock is that it's going to be a lot easier to hang drywall and eyeball stuff, because otherwise you're working blind. You have to remember where the plastic is behind the styrofoam.
Right.
You have to really think about it. But when you're hanging drywall right over the 2x4s, it's going to be really easy to eyeball it.
Now these ties are every 12 inches on center, so you have a lot of these plastic things to screw to. So, but this was we thought this would be just easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and show you how where we're putting the electric boxes, how we drilled the holes around. We're actually going in and around behind the 2x4s instead of through the wood. Just to say, I mean, it's a lot easier to drill through styrofoam than it is through wood. But
plus we laid our 2x4s flat, so they weren't sticking out as far, so we wouldn't lose as much wall space.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to be at least, I think, 1.25 inches. Your center of your hole has to be at least 1.25 inches, the end of the hole, so that your wire is that far back, so that you're not accident. If it is closer, then you have to put a metal strip across the front, so you don't accidentally put a drywall screw or nail through your wire. So
the screws are every 18 inches up.
These are 12, almost
inches.
12.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
just so I could.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 per board, and that's probably more than you would have done had you just been, regularly framing a wall.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's into plastic, but it's pretty secure. It's going to be able to hold a lot of weight.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So it was good. We got all the boxes put in this morning. Got all the studs put in yesterday.
And all those 2x4s are going up right above the edge of the foundation there. So, quad lock walls are styrofoam. And it seems like, what the heck can you attach to styrofoam? So this is what it looks like when you put up the studs into the quad lock. We had to clear out all along the sides of the walls here, put all our stuff in the middle, which is what a mess. But you can see Brian's got studs all the way down this wall and all the way across that one, and he's making his way up this final wall here. So make it a lot more simpler for the electrician to kind of just scoot on down with all of the wiring, and then drywall will go over the top of it, and it'll be an easy way to hide all of the wires. So, of course, right next to me, it's got a lot of concrete spatter from the pour, so it'll be nice to have to hide this anyway. Quad lock is designed where you can drill drywall right into the plastic pieces, but if we did it that way, we'd have to deal with burying the electric into the styrofoam, and that's just a big hassle. So easier to do it this way, and plus you've got some nice 2x4s, easier to see and not have to guess where the plastic is underneath. For the cost of a little bit of lumber, it kind of seems like it simplifies the job to be able to frame out your quad lock foundation. Still spitting snow a little bit today. It's really, really windy out there. Brian's cutting all of the 2x4s to length for the rest of this project. He's just got a couple left here. Do you have to do them for the mechanical room too? Or is there going to be?
Yeah, but we'll do those later.
How many screws are you putting in?
A lot. This is just to hold the. I can go back and just drill and screw. At least every 2 feet. So on the bottom.
More than usual because you're drilling into plastic, or does that matter?
I put one every foot when I had the clothes hang rack up here, and it seemed to hold really well. So there's not going to be a lot of weight.
Right.
Well, I think it should be some weight. The 2x4s are sitting on the cement, so.
Right.
But we'll probably put a little spacer under, like a 1/2 inch spacer under the drywall or whatever we put under there, so it's not all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case there was water to leak or something.
Mm-hmm.
It should be pretty good. Once you melt it, it's way harder.
Does that cut through the plastic in there pretty good?
I was thinking it. No, plastic's down here.
Oh. Okay.
That's why I put it in the middle.
Oh.
Because before upstairs, I was doing 12 inches and down. But because the plastic is there, I can't get through it. So the plastic goes all the way up to there.
Oh, okay. So remember where your plastic is.
Yeah.
You'll find out soon enough, I suppose. So you're going in 1.5 inches?
Yeah, approximately. 2 inches. The other trick would have been way better.
Maybe you can do it now.
Yeah, maybe.
Brian's other special tool he constructed was a wire on this block. We tried to electrify it, but we didn't have enough voltage on our power supply to get it hot enough. But there's more than one way to skin a cat to get something hot enough for cutting. So just trying to heat up this wire to it's red hot, and you can kind of scoop out the rest. Like butter. That's a good way to do it. It cools off kind of fast though, so
Yeah.
it's kind of a pain to keep reheating with the torch. It would have been cool if we had it powered up so it was hot enough, but luckily we only have, what, 8 of these to do?
Yeah, not even 7. Maybe.
7, so it's kind of fun.
And it makes it cleaner looking.
Mm-hmm.
That's perfect.
Less crumbs on the floor.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
Just like that. Voila. Below the, right about here.
And the bottom of the slats.
Yeah, right at the bottom. Because the plastic could be anywhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, that'll really.
Oh, we're going into the styrofoam?
Yeah.
I thought we were drilling into the wood.
No.
We're going behind it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Same thing here. That's it. There's a whole roll.
Oh, okay. Well, that's easier than I thought we were going through all the wood. Yeah, I don't think I'm connecting here. I think I'm connecting my holes here. Get any smaller.
There's a smaller bit upstairs.
Oh.
They're different heights.
Oh. Insulation itched my back.
to be a hole.
There's still no. I feel like I got my fingers in there. Okay, works.
Perfect.
Pokey thing. I need a reamer.
What?
I need a reamer. Push out all the.
Well, you're just not experienced at reaming.
Well, I think the wire will be able to make it through.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
So, for example, now that the holes are drilled at each side, this is the example wire. We'd be fishing it through this side, looking for it over here, coming out, and then it goes down into here.
Yep. In the back.
Oh, around the back?
Yeah, there's a hole in the back.
So hopefully that was educational and you guys kind of saw a way that you can do your wall framing over quad lock using 2x4s as an advantage because of the spacing and because of the visibility. You certainly don't have to. You know, the manual on quad lock says that you can drill right into the styrofoam if you want, as long as you know where your plastic is. But we kind of like this idea, at least for the options that it gave us. And some of the updates, additionally this week, we heard from our inspector. Actually, is going to come Monday to inspect our trench, but he said it was okay to go ahead and backfill the driveway part so we don't have to keep parking down below and hiking up the hill. We definitely have some more snowy weather in the forecast, so we'd hate to have to truck down there every single day. But
I did make a bridge. A little sketchy though. So
it's a little sketchy.
little snow on it, and you kind of slide down the bridge.
Yeah, and it's hard to navigate that corner and have enough momentum to make it up the hill when you have a larger vehicle. Yep. And then also some word from the well permit. So I had called yesterday to make an inquiry because it's been about a month. And then they sent me an email, and I'll screenshot you what they said. Basically that it's 4 to 6 weeks from the time they receive it, which they didn't receive it till October 10th. So 4 to 6 weeks from that date is when they'll review it. So in the next couple of weeks, we should hear something. We're hoping that it's a green light. Hopefully the fact that we don't have an old cistern on our property creates any problems.
Yeah,
but
that well was put in 1968.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's not an issue.
Hopefully that's not an issue. We can't use it anyway because of the age. Anyway, so that's the latest update. So we're getting this whole downstairs ready to be wired, and hopefully by next week we'll have full power, and that will be really exciting. Have some more plugs around here, run more than one appliance at a time. And then our plumber is scheduled to come out November 13th.
Yeah.
So that'll probably take him a few days of work to do all of the lines for the natural gas, the appliances, the water heater, all the rough plumbing, and then on to installation after that. So we're coming along, guys, and we'll keep you updated along the way. Hopefully you enjoyed the informational on quad lock and ICF forms. We'll see you at the next video.